Welcome, my fellow chess enthusiasts, to a game that will stand the test of time. Get ready to witness a battle of wits and strategy between two skilled players. This is not just a game, but a masterpiece in the making. Today, we have a chess game between ngreeny21 playing as white, and Ikwan_Nazir playing as black, on chess.com. Let's get right into the action. Move 1. White starts the game with the standard e4 pawn opening, which is one of the most aggressive opening moves. Black responds with e5, following the principle of controlling the center. Move 2. White brings out the knight to f3, developing a piece and attacking black's pawn on e5. Black replies with nc6, which is a solid move, defending the pawn and also attacking the center. Move 3. White develops the second knight to c3, which is a typical move in the Italian game. Black responds with nf6, which also attacks the e4 pawn. Move 4. White moves the bishop to c4, aiming to control the center and also threatening to capture black's knight. Black counters with bc5, which mirrors white's move and also attacks the knight on f3. The Giuoco piano game, also known as the Italian game, is one of the oldest and most popular openings in chess. It is characterized by the moves 1, e4 e5 2, nf3 nc6 3, bc4, where white develops the bishop to attack black's e5 pawn and control the center of the board. The four knights variation of the Giuoco piano occurs after 3, bc5, where white brings out the knights with 4, nc3 nf6. This opening is named after the four knights that are developed in the initial moves. This opening is often used as a solid and positional opening by white. It aims to control the center and develop the pieces harmoniously. Black has several options to counter this opening, including developing their own knights and controlling the center, or playing a more defensive game and waiting for white to make a mistake. Overall, the Giuoco piano game, Four Knights game is a classic opening that can lead to a variety of positions and strategies. It requires careful planning and execution from both sides and is a great opening for players of all levels. Continue to the game. Move 5. White castles kingside, a standard move to bring the king to safety and connect the rooks. Black also castles kingside, following the same plan. On move 6, white pushes the pawn to a3, which may not be a necessary move at this point. Black continues with d6, which reinforces the center and prepares to develop the bishop on d7. On move 7, white pushes the b-pawn to attack black's bishop on c5. Black moves the bishop back to d4, which is a good move to retain the bishop's control of the central squares. On move 8, white offers a bishop sacrifice with bxh3, which is a risky move. Black accepts the sacrifice by capturing the bishop with the knight on h3. Now, black has an extra piece in exchange for a pawn. On move 9, white captures back the knight on h3 with the g-pawn, opening up the g-file and also creating a weakness in the king's position. Black moves the knight to e7, aiming to bring it to the king's side and join the attack. On move 10, white captures the pawn on d4 with the knight, which is a logical move to eliminate a central pawn and open up the possibility of attacking black's king. Black responds with exd4, which also opens up lines for the attack. On move 11, white moves the knight to d5, which is an aggressive move to attack black's queen and threaten the fork on f6. Black moves the knight to g6, which is a good defensive move to block the knight's attack and also control the center. On move 12, white captures the knight on f6 with the queen, creating a double attack on black's pawns. Black captures back with the knight on f6, bringing it closer to the kingside. On move 13, white moves the bishop to b2, which aims to control the long diagonal and also defend the pawn on c3. Black moves the knight to f4, which is a strong move, attacking the pawn on h3 and creating a mating threat. On move 14, white pushes the c-pawn to attack black's knight on f4. Black captures the pawn on c3 with the bishop, which is a good move to retain the material advantage. On move 15, white captures the knight on f4 with the d-pawn, which is a risky move because it opens up the f-file and also weakens the king's position. Black captures back with the knight on f4, which doubles the attack on the h3 pawn. At move 16, black's queen moves to h4, putting white's king in check. White's only option is to move the king to h2, allowing black to capture white's knight with their bishop on move 17. This leaves white's king exposed and black continues to attack. On move 18, black's knight moves to f4, threatening white's king again. White tries to defend by moving their bishop to d2 on move 19, but black responds with a devastating checkmate on move 19 with their queen capturing white's pawn on g2. White's king has no escape and the game ends. Overall, this was a very aggressive game by black, who took control early on and kept up the pressure throughout the game. White struggled to find a strong counterattack and ultimately fell victim to black's tactics. The opening played was the Giuoco piano, a classic Italian opening that is characterized by the bishop's pawn, 1, e4 e5 2, nf3 nc6 3, bc4 bc5. Black's use of the knight to attack white's king was a particularly strong tactic, and their willingness to sacrifice their bishop to take control of the center of the board was another effective move. In the end, black's aggressive play paid off with a decisive victory by checkmate. In this game, black executed a beautiful attack that resulted in a checkmate on move 19. One lesson that can be learned from this game is the importance of developing pieces quickly and effectively. Both players developed their pieces relatively well in the opening, but black was able to take control of the center with his pawns and knights. White's lack of control in the center gave black the opportunity to launch a powerful attack. Another lesson that can be learned from this game is the importance of being aware of potential threats and tactics. White's decision to play 8, h3 and 9, gx h3 left his king vulnerable to attack, and black was able to exploit this weakness with a strong knight move on move 10. White could have avoided this threat by playing 8, gx h3 instead, which would have eliminated the possibility of the knight check. Overall, this game demonstrates the importance of strategic planning and awareness in chess, as well as the consequences of not controlling the center and leaving weaknesses in your position. And there you have it, a game for the ages. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through the world of chess. Remember, the game never ends, and the possibilities are endless. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep playing, keep learning, and keep conquering.